Hey everybody, it's Flake. I just want to drop in with maybe some quick tips that I can perhaps help you with. And this one is going to be about bleeding and specifically surviving the bleed. And the tips that I'm going to give you here are going to help you identify when your opponent is likely to bleed and how to get through that treacherous round 2 after losing round 1. Now, the first tip that I'm going to give you is recognize the types of decks that want to bleed you. And these types of decks typically will have leader abilities that have last say importance. Things like Reckless Fury from Skellige that wants to drop a dagger and supported by some of the great swords who are then going to drop the Reckless Fury to get a massive point drain at the end of the game that you have no chance to respond to. So they're going to want to perhaps just maybe bleed you dry from all your answer cards so that they can maybe get a free say in a short round with a lots of burst. Same thing with monsters and Osriel with Eager, eating that 13 points out of the graveyard is a big deal, and they have massive fatties that can really put the pressure on in round 2. So how do you survive it? Very simple. First thing you want to do, like I said, identify the deck you're playing against. Does it have a big, massive push or all their points essentially in one basket at the end of the game? That's your first indicator. Then identify what cards you're willing to give up. You want to obviously drop 3 cards down in round 1, and if you're on whichever side of the coin you're on, you want to understand, do I push here? If you're on blue coin, you got to understand that there's probably a good chance that they're going to push hard in round 1 to secure round 3 last say. So what you want to do in this case is just identify the fact that maybe it's not good to invest too many points in round 1 and maybe walk away when it suits you best without too much committed. And then in round 2, to identify the bleed, you want to keep an eye on their cards. Once they dip past that 7 cards in their hand, that's when you can pretty comfortably start committing more powerful cards, because they might just be dropping nonsense cards on the board in order for you to maybe just match and then go on top. But as soon as they cross that 7-card threshold, it means that they're committed to this round. It means that they're giving up card advantage and hoping to get as many cards out of you as possible. You could probably anticipate that they're in it for the long haul. So what do? Well, as soon as you see your opponent do one of 2 things. Number 1, commit an engine point card or a very important piece of the puzzle to the board, something like a scenario like Feign Death, or something like Isengrim, or something that's going to generate them points over time. You want to then respond with an engine piece of your own. You want to keep up the pace here. You don't want to play hesitant to your opponent, because otherwise you are going to fall behind way too quickly, and then it's going to be a real tough go. You're going to be kicking yourself and saying, maybe I should have played that engine sooner. And now you're really, really hurting. So what you want to do, again, identify major engine piece cards or pieces of the puzzle that they're committing to the board in round 2 as an indicator that they're going to bleed. And secondly, once they cross that 7-point threshold, it's pretty much let's go to the show and start dropping your big cards as well. Identify what it'll take for you to maximize a short round 3, and then just go for it. Another little extra bonus piece to this tip here is going to be that maybe in certain cases you can kind of bait your opponent into taking a free pass. That means playing to a tie or playing specifically behind, where another small card out of your hand will then give them or give you the advantage, but baiting your opponent into a quick and easy pass is possibly an option for you as well. That'll make your opponent pass, thinking that maybe they're just going to take the card and walk away. That sometimes is your better option in scenarios where you don't want to commit too many more cards. But that's a little bit more of a little bit more advanced in terms of sort of gauging that. Nonetheless, that's my quick tip here for you today. Hope you're safe. Love you all. Adios and goodbye.